The next item will be a speech from our Honorable Chief Guest. To introduce our Chief Guest, Professor Nadaraja Sriharan, I call upon Dr. Varadarajan Divyanathan to the stage.
It's my privilege and great honor to introduce our Chief Guest, Professor Nadaraja Sriharan. And I want to thank Professor Sriharan and his wife, Shivani Sriharan, for accepting our invitation and attending this and grace this occasion this evening. Professor Sriharan graduated with his medical degrees, both MBBS and MD, from the University of Colombo, and then moved on to get his PhD in cardiovascular medicine at the University of Leeds. And upon his return to Sri Lanka, he was appointed as a professor of medicine, and he was the founding chair of medicine at the University of Jaffna's Faculty of Medicine. And he was instrumental in establishing the professorial units at the Jaffna Hospital and transformed that as a teaching hospital in Jaffna. He left Sri Lanka in the late 80s and joined the University of Alberta in Canada as a visiting professor of cardiology, and then moved to United Kingdom and joined the global pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline. At GSK, he was a senior vice president and the European medical director, and he led teams that discovered several Glaxo medicines to treat a wide range of diseases. His team, I want to mention a few. His team developed the first ergot-selective dopamine agonist against Parkinson's disease, the first beta blocker for the congestive heart failure, an insulin sensitizer to treat type 2 diabetes, and a topoamine isomerase inhibitor to treat the ovarian and small cell lung carcinoma. So you can see it's a whole spectrum of diseases they develop medicines. Professor Sriharan is a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians and the American College of Physicians. He held visiting professorships in several prestigious medical universities around the world, including the King's College London. He served as a national examining bodies for physicians in both in United States and United Kingdom. With all his extremely high achievements and global recognitions, Professor Sriharan continued to serve the University of Jaffna and the Jaffna Teaching Hospital. He is currently a visiting professor in the University of Jaffna in the Faculty of Medicine, and he was instrumental in organizing several international conferences at the University of Jaffna and travels regularly to Jaffna. Very recently, a collaboration with the National University of Singapore and Duke University, they established a clinical research facility at the teaching hospital in Jaffna. He's a visionary with the development plan for the University of Jaffna and to the teaching hospital. We are very privileged to have him as our chief guest, and I want to invite Professor Sriharan to the stage.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த யாழ்ப்பாண பல்கலைக்கழகத்தின் 50வது நிறைவு விழாவிலே என்னை பங்கு பெற்ற அழைத்தமைக்கு முதற்கண் இந்த விழாவின் அமைப்பாளர்களுக்கு எனது நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்ள விரும்புகின்றேன். நான் சில கருத்துக்களை உங்களுடன் பரிமாறுவதற்கு சுருக்கிய நேரத்தில் ஆங்கிலத்தில் கதைத்தால் எனக்கு இலகுவாக இருக்கும் என்ற காரணத்திற்காக உங்களுடைய அனுமதியுடன் தொடர்ந்து நான் ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசப் போகின்றேன். Ladies and gentlemen, the 50th year celebration of any university, any institution is an important milestone. So as we celebrate 50 years of existence of the University of Jaffna, I would like to reflect on some historical events, moments that led to the creation of a university in the northern region in Jaffna. The first event goes back 200 years ago, when a group of American missionaries arrived in Sri Lanka, Ceylon at that time, and having arrived in Colombo, they didn't stay in Colombo, they didn't go to any other part of Sri Lanka. They went straight to the Tamil-speaking region in the north. Historians have discussed and argued why that was the case. My own feeling is that they recognized and realized that education and health are key parameters in the cultural heritage of the Tamil-speaking people, and they were therefore welcomed by the Tamil people of the north. And in return, they built several institutions in the north. One was an institute of higher education in Vattukotai, my own birthplace. They called it the Batikota Seminary because they couldn't pronounce Vattukotai. So the Batikota Seminary, created 200 years ago, became Jaffna College and eventually the first campus of the University of Jaffna in 1974. They also built 2 health institutions in Manipai. They built the first ever Western medical school in the whole of Asia in Manipai, and also a hospital to go with that. The Green Memorial Hospital, as it is called today, it still exists as a not-for-profit hospital in Manipai. And in recognition of that, the medical faculty, when we started the faculty in the 80s, we created a prize, the Samuel Green Memorial Prize, the prestigious prize for the best student, final year student, over 3 years, in recognition of the contribution made by Reverend Samuel Green to the medical education and healthcare in the region. The second historical event, many of you may or may not recognize, happened after independence. In the 1950s and 60s, I was a young O-level student at the time, and I recognize very clearly it was a passionate call by the Tamil people to establish a university for the Tamils of Sri Lanka. It was called the Tamil University Movement. Father Reverend Mr. S.J.V. Chelvanayagam and many other eminent academic, Professor Eliezer, the mathematician, Professor Arasaratnam, the historian, Reverend Father Taninayagam, the Tamil scholar, all of them were involved in this call to create a Tamil university. Unfortunately, for obvious reasons, political reasons, that did not materialize. But we indeed got a university several decades later in 1974, not a Tamil university, but a national secular university. And as you heard from the Vice Chancellor, it has grown from strength to strength. And today, it's one of the largest universities in UK, in Sri Lanka. It's a very well entrenched university. It may not be in the top tier like Colombo and Peradeniya. The success of the university is not only that it has expanded over the last several years, many campuses, many faculties. The success of the university is here, today, here, all of you. The alumni of the university is the success of the university, which has produced across many faculties. I can talk from experience. Some of them are here, the medical students who are now medical graduates, and all of you in various fields hold positions of importance, eminence, whether it's state universities, healthcare sector, other sectors, in business. So that is the pride and joy for us as I reach very soon 80 years, or close to that. And I still remember with nostalgia my trip to Jaffna to take up the foundation chair in medicine. The question then is, what next? We can talk about the past, what about the future? How can we develop the university further? And more importantly, what is the role of the alumni in that development activities? The alumni of any university is an important resource. We sometimes don't realize that. The alumni of any, and if you look at many of the great Western universities, there is a formal relationship of the alumni with the university, formal. Look what's happening at the University of Oxford this month. the University of Oxford are electing a new chancellor of the university, for the university. And the voting for the chancellor, the convocation that votes for the chancellor includes all the alumni of Oxford University. So the alumni have a very important role to play. Sri Lanka is slightly different in the sense we don't have a formal relationship, but we can do a lot more. I know many of you, like the Lift Foundation, I know personally of the contributions of the Jaffna Faculty of Medicine alumni. We play our part, small though it may be. We have to play a part, and I would urge all of you, as we celebrate the 50th year, to come together, come together to create, as some of you mentioned, a formal alumni for the University of Jaffna globally, calling in all the alumni from various chapters. And we do that without diminishing the role of individual alumni. It is unity in diversity. So each faculty can do their own thing, but if we come together, we can do more. Tamilla சொல்லுவார்கள் என்ன அடம்பன் கொடியும் திரண்டால் மிடுக்கு. If we come together, we can do much more. So that's the first thing. We have to come together. That's the challenge to the organizers here. Let us come together. Then secondly, I was pleased to hear, and I have had some discussion with TV and others, coming together alone is not enough. We must plan, write a strategic plan. Sometimes, whether it's universities or charities, we do small things. A lot of small things. Something here, something there, doesn't work. In order to be impactful, we have to share resources, come together, and then we can have some impactful activities in Jaffna. So the alumni can't do it on its own. We have to form a partnership, a formal partnership with the University of Jaffna. I have spoken to the Vice Chancellor and many others. They are willing. We have to show our interest to do that, and I think we can do it. Come together, write a plan. And my suggestion would be, in that plan, as a start, we identify just 1 or 2 projects, no more. Select 1 or 2 projects, and they should have a couple of objectives. Again, don't get diluted. One objective, most important objective, it should have a societal impact. A university cannot stand in isolation. Okay, we will develop the university, but through working with the university, we must select a project that will relieve the suffering and improve the well-being of the disadvantaged members of our communities back home. That's the first objective. We must have a discussion and select a project or projects to do that. The second objective, and that is our role, we are alumni holding positions all over the world. We can make the University of Jaffna even more international in its presence. So that's my second suggestion. But it's not what we do, it's how we do. It's even more important. So what is our role? What can we do? Giving, koduttal. That's all, one word, giving. You know, the former President of America, Bill Clinton, has written a wonderful book. The title of the book is Koduttal, Giving. And he talks about different ways of giving, whether it's a charity or whether it's a university alumni. When we give, there is a misunderstanding. Giving is all about money. Of course, money is important. Without money, you can't run projects. But if you just give money, you create a lot of disruption back home. I think you will disrupt, you will create a dependency culture. That's what we are seeing in our homeland. We can't allow the young people to become dependent on overseas money. So we must give money, yes, but with a plan. And there are other ways of giving your time, giving your resources, working with the team. You have to make sure we work with the team. But above all, we have to give love. Show that we care, that we have compassion, gratitude. Gratitude is an important attribute of the Tamil culture. We have received so much from the university. How can we coming together and give is important. My final point, is that giving with compassion, there is a statement, I think it's Swami Sivanandaji said, giving without compassion is like building a temple without an idol in it. கருணை இல்லாமல் கொடுத்தால் அது ஒரு ஆண்டவன் இல்லாத ஒரு கோயில் கட்டுற மாதிரி வந்துவிடும். It has no meaning, no purpose. So whatever we give, we should give with compassion for the betterment of that society. There are many diaspora organizations today doing very well. Charities, old boys, old girls, networks, alumni. And therefore, we can do a lot. A lot of research has been done to see why some diaspora organizations are very impactful and effective, some are not. And the research, sociological research, has shown we must behave not like human beings, but like amphibians. Tavakkai madri nadakka venum. The meaning of that is amphibians are adaptable. Amphibians are comfortable in land and comfortable in water. For us as diaspora to be successful, we must be very comfortable in our host country. Not just successful professionally or financially. We must feel engaged with our host country. If we do that, there are two advantages. We can tap into the resources of our host country. Many countries in the West are waiting for requests to fund low middle income countries like Sri Lanka. So we must be entrenched here. That will give us funds. And secondly, because if we are comfortable in this country, we go to help with the right reason. Not because we don't have an identity here and therefore we go with the wrong intention, it never works. The tension comes between the people there and us, so we shouldn't do that. The second thing is we must be sensitive to the people there. They are the people who are working there. I might be the former professor of medicine, but I go there to serve. I have to serve. They are running the place. I can facilitate it. You can facilitate it. We can't tell them what to do. But if we create that partnership, a lot of things can be done. So with that, those are just ideas. I'm not lecturing to you. I'm talking to myself. You know, that's the way for us to work towards a better life for our people there. So with that, I want to congratulate the organizers for this wonderful event, to get so many people here, and also the teachers and the performance. We had a showcase of a culture, Iyal, Isai, Nadagam, ellam irundhathu. So we want to, and thank you again for giving us this privilege of being here. Thank you.